situation is just awful, but you can expect every asset available from the federal, state, and local level will be present to help track this person down as quick as they can. They want to get all the information that they can. It's likely they've got a name, they've got a car, so they've got people doing tracking him down. But the important thing, get a perimeter, save lives, get the people that need to go to the hospital, and go full scope on getting this guy tracked down. We've seen those pictures clear as a bell. Somebody knows who this person is. More than that, the fact that they went to this bar, restaurant, and that bowling alley, and potentially a third site, that means these weren't just spur of the moment. He's been there before. He's scouted that place out before. So somebody either at the bowling alley, at the bar, they probably know who he is. So that information is coming into law enforcement, and they are just going to go, hell bent to get what they can right away. What I'd like to tell everybody is we hear all these numbers, we hear all this information. I promise you, I've been through a lot of these crises before. The first reports are always wrong. So we've got to take it take a moment to assess what information is coming in, waiting for that press conference where we'll get some official information from state police, from some of the federal authorities, from the governor's office. A lot going on right now.
And we appreciate your time here with us this evening. What information would you specifically flag as having a pause or a possible inaccuracy at this point? What have you often seen as being incorrect at this point in this kind of situation?
Well, the number one thing is almost every mass shooting that I worked on, there was reports of multiple shooters, and it always came down to one person. What you have is what they call circular reporting. Different people, reporting the same thing, and law enforcement at the moment might think it's more than one person that's involved. Certainly it could be, but in most cases it turns out to be just one person that they end up looking for. And then, of course, the numbers of killed and wounded, those numbers will fluctuate over the hours. And of course, taking care of the families of the victims, that's a priority for victim witness coordinators, for law enforcement. So there's just so many different things that need to be done. They have to set up a command post. They've got to start working together, harnessing all these different entities that are there, different radio channels, different intelligence coming in, sharing information, setting up tactical teams, setting up surveillance, perimeters. They've got to work together, and they'll be in some room, whether it's a police station, a hospital, school. They'll set up this room, and they'll begin going through the information, assessing it as quick as possible. And every law enforcement agency practices on how to do that. Every law enforcement agency now practices on how to handle an active shooter, and they're going to take that training and put it to the test tonight.
Rich, we appreciate your time, and I don't want to take too much of it, but you did say something super interesting, which is this person has been there before, to that bowling alley, to, that pool hall, and they're trying to get the full scope of that. But knowing, that little tidbit that you think he's been there before, why do you think that? Why would you say that? Do you think he's a member of the community and specifically scoped these places out?
Whether he's a member of the community or drove up from another state or anything, but the likelihood of him just coming to Lewiston, going to a specific bowling alley, a specific restaurant, just on a lark, not knowing how busy they would be on a Wednesday night or what's going on, I say that's pretty slim. We'll find that out in the investigation. Could certainly be wrong, but it's likely that he has some familiarity with the area, with these locations, and that'll all be part of the investigation. They want to find who he is. They want to find his cell phone. They want to find his computer. Who's he talking to? Everybody has a digital footprint these days. That was there somebody that he telegraphed this to, that he was going to do this? Did somebody have information? A lot of times they have these mass shootings, and then when the investigation takes place over the next days or months, they go to neighbors, friends, relatives, and somebody says, you know what, I knew he was thinking about doing this, and they wish they had called it in. And that's why, for now, since 9/11, we've heard that see something, say something. So, a lot of times people just have an idea that this is going on, and the best thing people can do is, call law enforcement if they're concerned about this. And the best thing they can do tonight, call law enforcement. Somebody knows this guy, somebody knows that car, somebody's seen him somewhere, and police still need your help.